Apparently this man Piers. I said Pink Morgan. Piers Morgan think he know about MMA now. So let's see. He's dumb about politics. So I, I'm not expecting too much from him.
Is there a bigger pussy than Eddie Hearn?
He was quite upset.
Is there a bigger pussy than Eddie Hearn?
There's been a lot of pussy talk this week, Dana.
It's crazy.
You are the biggest animal in world sport.
If Eddie
Is Dana White the biggest animal in all world sports? Wouldn't that mean he would have a richer promotion?
wants to box, we can box.
If it actually happened, who would win? Would you be confident? What is the state of play with Tom?
Tom and I obviously need to talk.
What do you think of what is happening at the moment with Iran? Do you have a view about it?
Not anything that I would talk about publicly. Donald Trump is a very good friend of mine. I was just with him last week again, and he's hilarious. And he's an animal.
There's going to be this big UFC event at the White House. A lot of speculation about who may be on that bill. Are you looking at the name John Jones as you stare at that whiteboard?
Interesting.
Can you give me the scoop? Dana White is well famous for turning UFC into a global juggernaut, making some very powerful friends and some powerful enemies along the way. He's now bringing his unique brand of strategic shock therapy to the world of boxing, where it's fair to say not everyone's enjoying the challenge. Last month, Conor Benn, a very familiar face to uncensored viewers, left Eddie Hearn's matchroom to join Dana's Zuffa Boxing, a decision which left Eddie Hearn furious. Well, Dana White joins me now. Dana, welcome back to Uncensored.
Good to see you.
I ain't gonna lie, nobody trying to see Dana White box. I ain't even trying to see you shirtless for real, cause we seen how you swung on your wife.
Buddy.
There's been a lot of pussy talk this week, Dana. You called Eddie Hearn a pussy. He's responded to the pussy claim by saying he kind of takes it as a compliment because you're talking about him. Explain why you think he's a massive pussy.
I'm talking about him. This guy hasn't shut up since the day I got into this sport. It's crazy. Eddie and I had a relationship, and I literally didn't see that coming. And to be honest with you, I wasn't going to mess with Eddie at all. I liked him, and it's been absolutely crazy. I'm talking about him. This guy hasn't shut up since the day I got into the sport. The reason I'm actually, listen, and Eddie said, "Oh, this is great. I look forward to competing with him, and there's a lot of things he doesn't know about boxing that he's going to learn the hard way." And Eddie, I've been in this business for 30 years.
People who don't know, Dana White actually started off in boxing. I wonder if he'll mention that.
And the whole Conor Benn thing. Apparently, they're supposed to be really close, and Eddie's supposed to be hurt by this and all this stuff. Eddie Hearn and his father are incredibly wealthy and will be for the rest of their lives. Conor, who they care about, is going to make some good money for him and his family. He should be happy for him if they're that friendly and that close, or he should have matched the deal, which he could have done. He obviously has the money, and he could have matched or beat it.
See, that's at the nub of this, isn't it? Because you and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh from Salah, who I know well, you've come storming into boxing. You've grabbed it by the horns. And in the UK in particular, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, with their different companies, are used to kind of being quite dominant there. Eddie, I think his position would be, I've known him a long time, is that he nurtured Conor Benn, but it wasn't that hurt him. It's that when Conor Benn was going through his big drug scandal problem, which ultimately he came through, of course, but when he was going through it and everyone else was tossing him on the bonfire and throwing him to the wolves, Eddie stood by him, and he felt that when it came to him defecting to you, he didn't really even give him the courtesy of a phone call. As somebody who's had to manage your own roster of people, could you understand why, if you stand by somebody who goes through a really tough time, it's that's the betrayal, not just someone moving management?
Yeah, it happens. I wouldn't confuse business with the personal relationship either. When we signed Jayo Pataya, who's fighting this weekend for us, Eddie came out and said, you know what, he never sold anything anyway. I couldn't sell anything with Jai. Oh, Jai's job is your job is to sell. So when you sign a guy, his job is to be a badass. Your job is to figure out how to make him and you as much money as you possibly can.
That was an excellent way of putting it.
Are there any rules in the fight game from your perspective? I mean, is there any
That's kind of a dumb question.
like gentleman's code?
The reason it's a dumb question because there's clearly rules in the fight game, or else we wouldn't have a sport. Kind of
between you all? And is the kind of stuff we've seen between you and Eddie this week, is that all part of the theater, if you're honest, Dana?
Yeah, if there's a guy under contract, you don't mess with him. When contracts are up and somebody has the right to negotiate.
He's about to say renege on the contract. That's how you know he's okay with people reneging on the contract as long as it doesn't affect him.
All's fair.
The reports are that you offered Conor Benn $15 million for one fight. Can you confirm that?
I cannot.
Because it's not true, or because you don't want to talk about it?
Yeah. Eddie Hearn had him under contract. And Eddie Hearn, when his contract was up, Eddie Hearn has the right to match and has the right to negotiate for his fighter. He could have kept him if he wanted to.
In terms of all these guys, the way you guys,
hey, so you got all these guys that are talking smack. I didn't say anything. I sat back and we're getting into the game. I'm gonna, build it from the ground up. I'm gonna, I'm not going after like Usyk and, all these type of guys. I'm gonna go after the
one thing about Dana White, he has serious business acumen.
Up and coming stars. This is what I like, building things from the ground up. And that was what I said. I don't know if everybody took that as, that's all I would do or whatever it was. So Oscar De La Hoya is suing his fighters to try to make them stay with him. You're running a bad business when you're suing your people to stay with you. And listen, anybody who ever gets into business and says that they want to compete, I don't take anybody lightly, and I don't overlook anybody. And all of these guys apparently felt that way about me. They underestimated me, or I don't know. And here we are.
Well, for viewers who've not been following Pussygate this week, I just want to play what you said about Eddie first, and then what he said in his response. So let's take a look.
Okay. Well, I think you saw this week, I am really beating up babies. Is there a bigger pussy than Eddie Hearn?
He was quite upset that Conor Benn left him.
Is there a bigger pussy than Eddie Hearn? This guy's supposed to be your friend. You're fucking crying. He made more money. He's going to make more money, and he had the right to match it. He could have matched it.
I think he said he tried.
He's supposed to be running the bigger promotion. Why didn't he match us? Bro, Dana White's cooking this guy.
Conor Benn wouldn't return his calls.
What a crock of shit. Yeah. We're literally beating up babies. Yeah.
I don't look at Dana White. There's nothing. It's not like, he comes out in the press. That surprised me, right? Eddie Hearn, have you ever known a bigger pussy? I'm like, fucking hell. I mean, firstly, this is so good for me. Like, you're sitting at your UFC press conference and you're talking about me, right? So,
I mean, they're not talking about crazy, interesting things at the UFC press conferences anyway, so it's going to bring eyes to him as well.
In terms of me building a profile and a brand in the US, this is golden. The more they talk about me, the better. But I don't go away from that going, I can't believe he called me a pussy.
So you're helping his career, he's saying, in America, Dana.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how his career is being helped in America. Yeah, I'll tell you what, you and I will obviously talk again in the future. When we talk a year from now, let's see how well his brand's looking in America.
I mean, are you guys, Frank Warren, obviously, full disclosure, another long-time friend of mine. I've known him a long time, Frank. He says he's considering legal action against you and your company, TKO, and against Seller, Turkey Al-Sheikh's company. What is your reaction to that potential legal action? And on a sort of wider scale, is your mission, if you're honest, to wipe these guys out? Do you want to completely dominate world boxing in a way that doesn't leave room for people like Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn to operate in the way that they used to?
Let me ask you a question. And I like the Warrens. You haven't heard me say anything about them. Always been nice guys. Anytime I've ever, dealt with them, they haven't come out and really said anything. Sue me for what? I mean, I'm in the business just like they're in the business. What have I done other than compete to be sued by the Warrens? We haven't messed with any of their fighters that are under contract or tried to steal anybody or do anything like that, and we won't to any of the promoters. I'm in here to compete. I mean, all the sanctioning organizations are going crazy. Eddie Hearn absolutely lost his mind. The Warrens haven't said anything, and but they're talking about legal action. I don't know what they have, think they have with Turkey Al-Sheikh. That's their relationship, but I don't know what I have done to the Warrens that they think I should be sued, other than compete.
What do you feel, Dane? Yeah, I mean, on a big picture scale, some boxing purists, and it may be that they're slightly dinosaur in this thinking, but they look at the kind of fights that are coming along which are generating the really big money, whether it involves Jake Paul and Mike Tyson or Floyd Mayweather getting back in with Manny Pacquiao, whatever it may be. And they say, look, these aren't real fights. These are like entertainment bouts, purely for entertainment. And because they make such big money, there are going to be more and more of them, and that the purity of actual boxing gets diminished along the way. And the parallel they use is that you wouldn't do this in UFC, for example. UFC has got a
I don't believe there's purity in boxing.
Purity about it, where when you put on a UFC night, you want the best of the best competing at the elite level. You wouldn't have a bunch of older guys in the mix. What do you say to that?
I agree with that. I would be one of those guys that agrees with that. But that type of stuff is always going to happen. If you find two guys that are famous and want to fight each other, there's always going to be an interest in that. But that's not what I do. What I do is I put the absolute best versus the best against each other every weekend. Literally every weekend I do it. So that's what I'm bringing back to boxing, is that these guys, almost everybody's undefeated in the sport, right? Because they're not fighting anybody. The best will fight the best. I mean, I've only done 3 shows, and I don't know off the top of my head, but a lot of undefeated kids have already fought each other in Zuffa boxing. And I am one of those boxing purists, so I would agree with that.
What do you think of the likes of Jake Paul, kind of influencers who are trying the fight game? I mean, he's got better, but do you think he's an asset to the sport or not?
Well, listen, Jake Paul's doing his thing. He's, guys obviously made a lot of money, and people have been interested in it, and he plays the heel perfectly. Even if you hate what he's doing and you hate all the stuff about him, you hate him so bad that you're tuning in to see him get knocked out. So he's played the thing the right way. And I'll tell you this, he got hit. If you look at what AJ did to Francis Ngannou, right? And the Jake, it was a terrible fight. And he kept trying to tackle him. He did everything he could to avoid a fight. But once he got hit with that shot and he went down, broke his jaw, AJ didn't knock him out. And he definitely didn't knock him out the way he knocked Francis out. So if I give Jake Paul any credit, I'll give him that, and that he's built himself a business and he's made a lot of money.
And will you watch Mayweather-Pacquiao, the rematch?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that depends on, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I have to be home on Saturday to see this. But if I'm home, I'd probably watch it. Yeah. And that's the thing with those type of fights. If you're not doing anything, you're not going to go out of your way to try to stay home to watch it. But if you're home, you're definitely going to watch it.
Who do you want at Zuffa that you don't currently have? Who's on your wish list?
Listen, my thing is right now in this building phase is I want all the best up and coming guys and people that we believe can be world champions someday. No different than, understand this, right? When I built the UFC, I took everything that I loved about boxing and everything that I hated about boxing in building this business. So, and look how well it's worked. So how well do you think it's going to work for boxing?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I've said it to your face before, but I'm a massive admirer of the whole UFC business you built. And I remember the early days, how you were mocked and reviled for it. People didn't think it would ever last. And here you are with this multi-billion-dollar brand that is incredibly popular. And when you watch it, you know you're watching supreme athletes at the peak of their game. As a sports fan of any sport, that's what I love to watch. You know, I watch the recent Winter Olympics once every 4 years if I believe I'm watching the best skiers in the world, right? I don't think I'd watch two has-beens get it on a mountain side. So I think like that as a sports fan.
I agree. I do too. You know, and you know, when you have the best versus the best, you know, people know it, people feel it, and when you get the right fight in the right place at the right time, everybody wants to watch it. Think about this. So when I got into this, you were just saying about the business. When I got into this, everybody was telling me this will never work. You know, nobody's going to ever care about UFC. You'll never be bigger than boxing. You'll never get Saturday nights because boxing owns Saturday nights. Well, here we are, and now I'm getting into boxing.
You've become staggeringly rich, Dana. I mean that as a compliment. And you gave a fascinating interview in the street recently to a random guy that just stopped you and asked you about kind of life lessons. It was really interesting because you talked about that you had some of the happiest moments of your life when you were broke, when you had nothing. And yet, whenever I've met you or interviewed you, and it's a number of times now, and I see it as a great honor to talk to you because I think you're one of the significant figures in world sport. I just get a feeling of a guy who, yeah, you're stinking rich, but you're actually a happy guy, and you're quite a well-adjusted guy, I think. I don't know you as well as you know yourself, but you know, it looks to me like money hasn't corrupted you like it has a lot of people.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you know, money ruins everything. When a lot of money gets involved, it you know, everybody thinks that the answer and the key to happiness in their life is going to be if they can make a lot of money. You know what money does? Money doesn't make you sweat the things that regular people sweat. How am I going to pay the mortgage, the car payment? You don't sweat that stuff, but money brings a lot of other problems to your life. And if you're not a happy person who loves your life when you're broke, you are definitely not going to be a happy person that loves your life when you have a lot of money. I can guarantee you that. And yes, you know, I told that kid some of the greatest times of my life were when I was broke. I had a blast when I was broke.
Well, what's the best and worst thing about being highly successful and very wealthy?
You know, there's a lot of things that people don't see. A lot of people coming at you all the time. You really can't trust people. You can't let your guard down with anybody. You know, and everybody needs to borrow money, man. Everybody needs to borrow money. There's people in line every, you know, Piers, I'm sure, you know, you deal with it.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Somebody says to you, hey, I want to borrow some money. That money's never coming back. Okay. There's no such thing as borrowing money. You just got to say, here you go. And, you know, and you try to make sure that the money doesn't destroy relationships. Is what I really try to focus on in my life. I care more about people than I do money. So I always just try to make sure the money doesn't destroy any of my relationships that I care about.
It was interesting. You gave another interview where you were talking about how you run your business, and you were saying that, you know, you don't care whether people get in at 9:02, as long as they do the work, right? So if they finish it at 9 o'clock at night, that's fine. But also you said that, you know, if they've got a family and they've got a kid who's, you know, got a school match or a play or whatever it may be, you want them to feel they can go to those things. And I thought that was such a refreshing attitude for a boss of a major company to have, because so many bosses, I think, have a sort of negative view of that kind of thing. You've got to be in there. You've got to be in there 5 days a week, 9 to 8. There's no time. If your family comes first, you're not for us. You seem to have that work-life balance for you and your team the way it should be.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's very important to me. So my team that works here, we go every Saturday. There's a lot of traveling involved, and in the summertime, I throw big parties out back here. I do like carnivals and stuff, and I want them to bring their kids to the office and see where their parents work, and make it a fun place, for their families too. On this board here, I got fights. March 7th is this weekend, and then we go all the way to June 20th that we lay out. And once we start getting into this, you get into the year, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Now my kids are my two boys are 23 and 24, and my daughter is 19, and they're all out of my house, and it went by so fast. Now everybody that works here is an animal. I have a building full of animals here. My team is incredible, and they're all grown-ups. They know what they need to do. They know what needs to be done, and I don't care when they get their job done. It could be at 3 in the afternoon, or it can be at 3 in the morning. This building's 24 hours. And if your kid has a game, a play, a parent-teacher conference, anything like that, get the hell out of here and go do that stuff and be there for your kids and enjoy these moments with your family, because it's going to go by quick. And I'm all about that. There's no, hey, it's 9:05. Where's Eric? Why is he not at the office yet? If I need Eric, I'll find Eric and I'll track him down. And, but yeah, I don't want people to sacrifice their relationship with their kids and their families for work.
Do you think you're a good father, then?
Yeah.
Try to be. It's important to me.
What kind of question is that? What is he looking for there?
Important to me, so it's a very high priority on my list. So I try to be.
My dad's given me two pieces of advice that I can remember. He's still with us, and one was always be polite to police officers, and the other one was always drink the best French wine you can afford. Both excellent pieces of advice. But what advice do you try and give? What advice do you try and give your kids?
I always try to tell my kids, I don't ever want my kids to feel like they have to compete with anything that I've ever done in my life. I want my kids to choose their own path. And the only thing I care about is that they're happy. If my kids came and told me, Dad, I want to pump gas for a living because I love getting up early in the morning, I love the smell, I love love it. Knock yourself out. I'm not trying to have my kids be doctors or lawyers or businessmen, I just want my kids to live happy, full lives, and that's it.
One of the things you mentioned, that money can ruin relationships, which is obviously so true, but so can politics. And there's nobody that is more divisive in that sense, I guess, than Donald Trump. You and I have been friends of his for a couple of decades, and we've seen the good, bad, and ugly of him. And he's a unique character. As my daughter put it, he's almost too unique. But he's someone we've known very well for a long time. If you say you're a friend of Donald Trump, as you've discovered and I discover, there's a lot of people that instantly that puts their shackles up. They hate you. They want to judge you for it. And I've seen families break down over this, relationships, friendships, work colleagues all falling out over Trump, politics generally, but particularly Trump. You must get that all the time because you speak out in support of him. How do you deal with that? What's your view of that?
It's a fascinating thing because I have a lot of relationships, obviously, with people who are very conservative, but I have really good relationships with people who are very liberal too. Back when we grew up, you didn't talk about religion or politics. Now I think these things have changed everything. So it's just it's a different world we live in. But I'm not as political as everybody thinks I am. So when I'm around, I don't really talk a lot of politics. And any time that I've ever spoke at the Republican convention or for Trump or at any of his rallies, you never hear me putting down the other side. I never put down the other side or any of that type of stuff. I can have my opinion, and Donald Trump is a very good friend of mine, and he's a great human being, and I love the guy. I mean, every time I was just with him last week again, and for 2 days after I left him, I was cracking up laughing about stuff that he said while I was there. He's hilarious, and he's an animal. He is literally the hardest working guy I know. He loves this country, and he cares about people, and you know how he is being portrayed by the media is actually gross. It's gross the way that they portray him because he's the furthest thing from it. But is he an alpha male? He is an alpha male, and he's a tough guy, man.
What do you think of what is happening at the moment with Iran? It's the big news story at the moment. Do you have a view about it?
Not really. I mean, I do in ways, but again, not anything that I would talk about publicly. You know, that's what I'm talking about politically. Whether it's listen, the United States is doing it. What the United States is going to do. Regular citizens like us, you know, you can support it or not support it, or feel however you want to feel about it, but it's going to happen. That's that. Just deal with it.
On June the 14th, which happens to be Donald Trump's 80th birthday, as part of America's celebrations of the 250th year of that shameful moment when you gained independence from us, which I have to say, we don't celebrate in quite the same way, Dana.
Every 4th of July, I text Michael Bisping some funny meme about leaving England. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah.
You know, you could have had King Piers the First if you played your cards right, but instead you went your own lonely furrow. But there's gonna be this big UFC event at the White House in front of 5,000 people on the White House South Lawn. I mean, it's completely unprecedented. Going to be an amazing spectacle. A lot of speculation about who may be on that bill, particularly that John Jones, who I think last time I spoke to you, said was the greatest of all the UFC fighters, that he might come out of retirement to take on Alex Pereira. Can you confirm that? Can you give me the scoop?
So I'm in the war room right now. All the fights, like I told you, March 7th all the way to June 20th are laid out. We've kept this card so private and secret. Lene, my head of PR, is sitting right across from me, and behind her is this big whiteboard that we moved in here. And the whole card is laid out right here on the whiteboard.
So you know who it is.
Why is it a secret?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm staring at all 6 fights. We're scheduled to do 6 fights.
Are you looking at the names? Are you looking at the name John Jones as you stare at that whiteboard?
We were going to do 6 fights. I might actually do 7. I might add one more, but yeah, I'm excited. I'll announce. Well,
the word is the word is your surprise edition may be Conor McGregor.
Interesting. You know, it's funny. Every day when I wake up, you know, somebody will send me leaked. This fight's happening. Like all these guys on the internet are putting like every fight that is possible to make out there that it's going to happen at the White House. I think if they keep throwing enough shit out there, something's going to stick, and eventually they have to be right. You know what I mean? There's only everybody.
This guy is a media trained expert at dancing around questions he doesn't want to answer. People should really take notes who's trying to get media trained.
Weight class, the top 15, you know, they keep putting together every fight that's possible. So eventually they're going to be right. But yeah,
are you going to answer that it'll be announced this week?
Yeah. And
have you had to clear the names with the president? Is he taking an active participation role in this?
Listen, the president's got more important shit to do right now than worry about the card. He's a big UFC fan, and obviously he trusts me and knows that I'm going to bring the best available card and the best production anybody's ever seen. The production on this fight is so incredible. It is going to be a one-of-one special event, and not just for the fighters and the fans, but for my staff that gets to work this event. It's going to be incredible.
Any chance of an 8th bout in the ring between you and Eddie Hearn?
No. I'm too. How old's Eddie Hearn? How old's Eddie? in his 40s or something. He's still pretty young.
I mean,
think.
he's a big unit. He'd probably fancy himself.
Yeah, he's huge.
He did
He's
box
like
his.
6'5".
He did box his. He boxed his dad. Yeah, I mean, who do you think would win if you had a fight? He boxed his dad. Yeah.
Well, let's
win?
put it this way. We were talking about this earlier. First of all, we're both too old. That would have to be like a Jake Paul Netflix card, okay? Or we could both fight Jake Paul. We're in his age bracket of guys he likes to fight. I don't know. Did Eddie Hearn box his dad? And who won? Did we watch that? Is that available?
They actually got in the ring. You know, when Eddie was in his teens, he got in the ring with his dad, and they went about 3 or 4 rounds. And I think Eddie won, and Barry walked away. But the age difference then was a little bit more than it is between you and Eddie now. I mean, Eddie has a 10-year advantage over you. He's got the youth, but you are Dana White. You are the biggest animal in world sport. You know, if it actually happened, who would win?
Listen, if Eddie wants to box, we can box. We can box if Eddie wants to box.
He's just saying that because he knows that Eddie doesn't want to do that.
I don't think Eddie wants to box.
Would you be confident?
Yeah. Listen, I used to, back in the day, I used to box with all the guys. Boxers and UFC guys. I have boxed.
So if Eddie Hearn's up for it, you're on for it.
Absolutely.
I might promote that. I want to talk to you just about somebody that I interviewed, Dana, a while ago, Tom Aspinall. He obviously he was your heavyweight champion. He's recovering from double eye surgery.
He is my heavyweight champion.
He is your heavyweight champion, right?
Yeah.
What is the situation with Tom? Because he had this eye surgery. My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you've not had any personal contact with him since then. What is the current state of play with Tom?
Yeah, the company has talked to him. I haven't talked to him, and Tom and I obviously need to talk. He came out recently, or his dad too, saying that they felt like I was, I don't know how they said it, but that I had sort of shit on him, in the way that I had spoke about his eye injury, which was absolutely positively not the case. Tom Aspinall is a guy that I respect. He's been great, to work with, the whole time he's been here in the UFC. And, never once did I question his injury or speak negatively about it. I said something once that I said, I think he's okay. And I think he's going to be good. And they came out and said, no, that's not the case. And he said, I haven't even talked to Dana. I don't know why he would say that. But, obviously my medical team is talking to him. And that was what I had thought. And they thought that I had knocked him in some way, which I absolutely positively didn't and wouldn't. I like him very much and respect him. I've never had a problem with Tom Aspinall.
Do you think he'll fight again?
I do.
Is that from conversations his team have had with your team?
Well, he's still dealing with whatever's going on with his eyes. And obviously over the last 30 years of being in this business, I've seen, injuries that I questioned whether guys would come back from, and they always have, including eye pokes, but who knows? But if you ask me, sitting right here, right now, do I think Tom Aspinall will compete again? I would say yes.
Just finally, Dana, what ambitions do you have left? You conquered UFC, you're conquering boxing. Is there a bigger ambition for you, either professionally or personally?
It's a little early to say he's conquering boxing, but he's doing pretty well so far.
Personally, that you can talk about?
Well, as we continue to build TKO, when you think about, what we've done already has never been done in the history of combat sports. Now getting into boxing, and I've always had this I don't know what you'd call it, goal, I guess. When I grew up here in the United States, we had Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 8, and Channel 13. And then cable came when I was in high school, 30 channels, and then the rest is history, we all know. I believe that Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 8, and 13 will exist again, but globally. And who are the players going to be? Paramount's making big moves right now. Netflix is a monster, you know. So when you think about my business, right, the fight business as a whole, I got Slap, which is absolutely killing it. UFC is killing it.
Slapped is definitely not killing. There's no way people are really watching that.
Boxing's on the right track. And when you think about the ceiling for combat sports, there's 8 billion people in the world. And now we're getting to a point in our lives where
Be careful what words you guys putting in the chat. I don't want that to remove anybody.
streaming is becoming a reality globally. So when you put on the right fight in the right place with the right guys, what is your ceiling? Your ceiling is 8 billion people. And I just love the idea of that. And I love the idea of just building this absolute machine that has never been done before. Plus all the people that have told me for the last 25 years that this can't be done, that can't be done. Even when I started Power Slap, everybody was like, this is stupid. This is never going to work. This is never going to, you know, and it's the same things they said to me.
Why didn't he just take that money and invest it into kickboxing? It would have made so much more sense. Maybe he's not interested in making money anymore. He's just having fun with it.
About UFC. And Pierce, I love that stuff. I love it. Love it. It's what gets me out of bed.
You know, I've got to be honest. If you come to me with the idea of Power Slap, I'd have thought you'd lost your mind. I'd have said there's absolutely no way that is ever going to catch on. And yet now it's one of the biggest money spinners in world sport, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's been incredibly successful. In just 2 years, we have over 30 million followers. Our YouTube channel, which I'm a big believer in building your own channels out there, and our YouTube channel has over 4 million subscribers for Power Slap, and growing. So I sort of have this feeling I get, gut you could call it, when I started watching Power Slap on Instagram. What fascinated me is that I'm so jaded by the fight business. I would stick around to the end. I wanted to see who won and how. And, you know, I'm like, if I feel like this, lots of other people. And again, Pierce, the world is getting smaller every year. So, you know, everybody thinks that, oh my God, Power Slap is ridiculous. This thing is silly. Well, I don't need everybody to like it. There's 8 billion people on Earth. I only need this many people to like it, and it's incredibly successful.
Yeah, it's so true. This Sunday, you've got your Zuffa Boxing Championship belt being contested for the very first time. Just give me a bit of meat on the bone about that.
Yeah, so Jai Opetaia is, you know, the best cruiserweight in the world and one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. He's 29-0. He's got 23 knockouts, and he's taking on Brandon Glanton, who's 1-3 with 18 knockouts and coming off a big upset win in his last fight. Both of these guys, like Glanton's got like an 86% knockout ratio, and Jai Opetaia's got an 80% knockout ratio. I'm super excited for this fight, and it's for the first ever Zuffa belt. So one of these guys is going to walk out the Zuffa Cruiserweight champion this weekend.
Well, exciting. Dana, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you very much for taking time out of your ridiculous schedule to come back on Uncensored. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Have a great day.
Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent. The only boss around here is me.
Let us say hello once again to the one and only, the one and only undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall. There he is. Hello, Tom.
Apologies for that. We had some technical issues. I only heard a little bit of Eddie's last bit, and then it all started breaking up.
Well, it was vintage Eddie Hearn. It was incredible stuff from Eddie, and part of the reason why I wanted you to hear it, because I'm sure it felt really, really good to hear that type of stuff.
Somebody remind me, what was the name of that 185-pounder from the UK? I think it's Darren Till.
Because you haven't heard.
Did he go crazy?
Heard a lot of that as of late from non-media members. So Tom, we'll get into it because big news for you, a lot going on in your life. One thing I wanted to ask you off the top, he's referred to you a couple times, including in that last answer, as when he saw you, he felt like you were a broken man. Was that a fair way to describe how you were feeling about a week ago when you sat down with him for the first time?
I don't know if I was a broken man, but I definitely haven't been in my best spirits. My mojo has gone a little bit. One sec, I've got to move this behind me. This looks a mess. One sec. But I'm not supposed to be in this room, you see. I'm supposed to be upstairs, but my kids are asleep at this
No,
time.
I get it. It's late. I feel like this is the room where you do the YouTube stuff, right? I feel like I've seen this couch before. Am I wrong? I feel like this is.
Yeah, this is my living room. This is where we do the watch along stuff. But I wasn't. My kids have recently been in this room, so it's a little bit of a mess.
I get it. Back to your mojo. So you say not broken, but the mojo needed to get back.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a rough time, to be honest. I think I've cried about it enough publicly. So yeah, it's been a rough time. Eddie's seen me over the last couple of weeks. Got to know Eddie pretty good. Me and Eddie knew each other a little bit from around. He's been to a couple of my fights and stuff. And obviously, we are from the same country and move in similar kind of circles. So me and Eddie knew each other a little bit. We got a few mutual friends and stuff. But I think it's fair. It's a fair assessment to say that my mojo was gone a little bit.
So he told us that he was going to Wood Warrington in Nottingham just a couple of weeks ago. Michael Ridout, who used to work for IMG, now DAZN, says, "Hey, have you talked to Tom? You should speak to Tom." And my understanding was he then spoke to your father, and then you. Is that your timeline? Is that how all this started, or did you guys reach out to perhaps Michael to try to get a meeting with Eddie?
As far as I'm aware, that's what happened. I know I don't really know Michael too well. I've met him a couple of times. But he's friends, or he knows my dad at least. So.
You found value in the stream so far. Like the video for me.
So, I think those two speak a little bit, and yeah, I think they're mainly Michael's idea, as far as I'm aware.
Wow. And so does Eddie speak to your father first?
Yeah, he spoke to my dad a couple of times. Then we jumped on a Zoom, and to be honest, I wasn't really on board at first with it all. I'm sure Eddie told you, I didn't listen to Eddie's interview, but I've seen him say it a couple of times. I actually wasn't on board until we went and met in person, to be honest. I just didn't feel like that's what I needed right now, but obviously changed my mind.
So he said that you told him that you were going to fly to Monaco to tell him thanks, but no thanks, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we spoke a couple of times on the phone on a couple of Zoom meetings and stuff. And look, I've been a fan of Eddie. I've watched Eddie and been around Eddie enough to know what kind of guy he is and know that he's my kind of person anyway. But I just didn't feel like I really wanted to be involved in all that stuff right now. So I wanted to see him face to face to really make a decision. So I didn't really go in there thinking I'm not going to do it. But I wasn't leaning that way, to be honest, when we flew to Monaco.
And so how did he win you over? Because another thing that I said to Eddie was, I could think of every single manager under the sun has asked me over the years, hey, can you give me Tom's number? Can you give me Andy's number? I want to represent Tom. He needs my help, this, that, and the other. And I know you guys are a tight-knit team. Your dad's your coach, and he does your business dealings, and it's worked. And so I was so surprised. Surprised maybe isn't the best word. I was like, wow, they finally let someone in. Like the Aspinalls finally let someone in. What was it about Eddie and the rest of the team at Matchroom? I know Frank Smith was there, etc., that made you feel like, okay, it's time to bring someone else in.
Yeah, like you said, we've met probably just about every MMA representation person, whether it be a manager, commercial advisor, whatever you want to call it, someone who represents athletes. We've probably met just about everyone in the MMA space at this point, had meetings, had food, had a coffee, had a phone call, whatever. But I don't know, man, like something about Eddie and something about Frank and the whole team, they just, sometimes when you look across from somebody and spend real time with them, you just get a good feeling from them, and those are definitely my kind of people. I just feel like instantly we're on the same wavelength. Instantly, the trust was there. I don't know what it is. You know, I'm sure you've experienced it before. Sometimes in life you meet people and you just click, and I felt like we all just clicked, and it works.
Michael Bisping said, quote, I can't help but wonder if Tom Aspinall is going to be the one suffering through this, because he's basically going to be a pawn on a chessboard that Eddie Hearn is going to be moving around just to try to get to Dana White to cause problems and make life difficult for him. Do you feel like that's a fair assessment?
Well, it's definitely a worry that I had, but I don't worry about that anymore. I feel like people from the outside, whether it be Bisping or anybody else, they don't know the ins and outs of the conversations that we've had, obviously, and I obviously feel comfortable with it. Otherwise, I'm in a position in my career where I don't have to sign anything if I don't want. And obviously, I wanted to sign this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have signed it. So, yeah, very happy with it all, mate. Very happy to be part of Matchroom. Very happy to be working with Eddie, working with Frank, working with the rest of the team. And this was just about making my team bigger. As far as media and commercial value and stuff like that, we've just got a really, really small team, and I wanted to widen that, to grow that. And I believe that Eddie and the guys at Matchroom are the guys to do it with.
As far as your business dealings, your contract negotiations, the fights and all that stuff, do you want Eddie to handle that?
So Eddie and Matchroom, they're like commercial advisors for me. That's the role that they're going to play. They're going to advise. So my daddy's still my manager. He's been my manager from the beginning. He will be my manager to the end. But if we need to tag Eddie in, we will tag him in.
So if it's like the talks with the UFC and all that stuff, your dad will still be the one speaking to them. Is that fair?
That's fair. That's fair. But if we need Eddie, Eddie's there for us as well. So I've got the backing of Matchroom and Eddie Hearn as well.
Have you or your dad heard from the UFC since this announcement?
No.
Okay. I noticed you said something at the presser saying, a lot of fighters, it's one thing to talk about being unhappy about your pay on podcasts, interviews, but like, what are you doing about it? Can I ask what prompted you to say that? Why do you feel like that's the
It's actually a great statement.
message coming off of this? Why do you feel that way right now?
Well, there's always been a narrative, whether it be public or private, between boxing and MMA and pay. Like, I think it's well enough publicized that MMA fighters do not earn as much as boxers when it comes to actually fighting people. And look, as MMA fighters, that's what we signed up for. We knew that from the beginning, and that's all good. But just with all the recent stuff that's coming out and the conversations that I've been having with Eddie and the team, I just realized that there's so much, like, my earning potential is so much more than what I'm making in the UFC, that I want to explore it and maximize my time in my career as much as I can.
He told me just a bit ago that if you were a boxer fighting for him, you'd be making 10 times more than you're fighting now. Do you agree with him? Do you think that you deserve to be making 10 times more than you're fighting now? Than you're getting now, excuse me.
Well, I don't know the exact numbers with boxing. I only know what I hear. Obviously, Eddie and Frank know. And when they were looking through my contract, they were just giggling. They just kept, it was like I told them a joke or something. But like I said, that's what we signed up for. It's not anybody else's fault. Like, that's exactly what we signed up for as UFC fighters. I ain't complaining about it. I just want to make as much money as I can while I'm here. That's why I'm doing this whole thing.
I understand. I thought you handled the press conference very well and said all the right things, and you weren't combative. But when you're sitting there showing someone your contract, then they're sort of like laughing because they can't believe the way it's structured. This is still your life and your legacy and your family. Were you getting upset, not at them, but just at the state of things? To see an outsider's perspective, did that make you upset?
I wouldn't say upset. I just feel a bit like this is why I look at it, right? And every fight is different. Some guys, some guys don't care if they win or some UFC fighters, they don't even care if they win or lose. They just want to fight, and they're happy that they're getting paid for it, and that's great. Like, if you're cut from that cloth, like, good for you. But with me, I want to make as much money as I possibly can make. So I'm exploring every option that I can do, and I think that if you're not doing that, then you should be, quite frankly, because I think that each and every time we step in there, well, I know for me, I can only speak for myself, but I feel like I put my own health on the line for other people's entertainment, and I want compensating for that as much as possible, whether that be inside the octagon, like I say, with the stuff, with the fighting, I signed up for that, so I know exactly how much I'm getting paid. But if I can make more money doing other stuff as well, I will absolutely do that.
I think a lot of people thought this was the bridge to eventually, not now, when you're done with fighting in the UFC, to go to boxing. Is that part of the thinking as well?
Not from me. I've never said once that I wanted to box. It's not really of interest to me right now. maybe when I'm, when I'm a little bit older, like towards the back end of my career, I might do it a little bit more. But right now, it doesn't really interest me. My interest right now is MMA.
Were you surprised at the reaction? The reaction was massive. Did you think this would be viewed as such a big deal as it was?
I mean, it's a good time to do it. If you're going to do it anytime, I think it's a good time to do it. And it was by design that the reaction was massive. I think me, Eddie, and all of our team agreed that this is the right time to do it. I think just with everything that's going on within the state of MMA and the state of boxing right now, I think it's a good time to do it, and I think it's the right time to do it. I think everybody's happy with it, everybody's satisfied, and I know that the guys have got some big things coming up for me over the next, in the future. So I'm very happy with it, mate. Very happy.
To see the attention and the turnout on Friday and to be up there with someone like Eddie bigging you up and making you feel, I would imagine, like $1 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you ever felt that way? Like, have you ever felt that type of love and respect while being an active fighter up there in front of the press?
No, I think usually I feel like it's kind of me against the world and everyone's trying to catch me out a little bit when I'm doing stuff like that. So it's nice to have the voice of Matchroom behind me. And it's nice to have somebody else, because I felt like I've kind of been defending myself on my own a little bit for something that wasn't at all my fault. So yeah, all good, mate. I'm like I said, if I wasn't happy, if I wasn't even close to being happy, then I would have never signed a contract. So I'm very pleased the way it's
I'm not sure if he's in the position that he's trying to advertise, truly.
all gone.
I can feel it, and your demeanor is completely different than the last time we spoke. Can I push back on one thing?
You push back on whatever you want, mate.
I heard you say that you have not talked to Dana White, and then I also heard you say he doesn't speak to fighters. That's not his job. I understand it's a hunter thing. You're being very respectful. He's a human being. It takes 10 seconds to send a text to someone saying, like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? There has to be a part of you and a part of your team that feels disappointed that he has not checked in on you once. Not even a phone call, a text, anything, a DM.
See, this is the reason why Ariel got basically banned from the UFC. The way he looks for negativity for unnecessary things that nobody's even thinking about, and tries to get controversial statements out of fighters who are just trying to promote themselves.
I mean, it would have been nice, but I ain't going to cry about it. It is what it is.
Are you surprised?
No, I ain't surprised.
I am, actually. I'm very surprised. It's a text. What's up, man? How are things going? I saw that video. I saw that article. Saw you're struggling. You good? Anything. 2 seconds.
I mean, I agree, but I ain't surprised.
Right. How are things going with the company right now?
Do you think if Dana White was hurt, that Tom Aspinall would reach out? And if Tom Aspinall actually did reach out, do you think it would be in good faith, or to get into better favor with Dana White, truly?
The other people you speak to in the company.
All good. Like they've been updated the full time on what's going on with me medically and stuff. The stuff that I've had to have, and the time frame and everything. Like, we've been keeping updated from our side. So we've done everything there is to do. We've got messages and messages of communication between us and them, and everything was done right on our side. That's for sure.
Do you feel a little bit more support?
In what sense?
I don't know. When we spoke the first time after, in that first interview, you said, no one checked in. You kind of had to do things on your own. Do you feel like a little bit more like, hey, what's going on? What's up? What could we do? Do you need to see this person? What's the progress? Status checks. You're a massive, massive part of their business. You're a huge star. You're their heavyweight champion. I would think they'd be on to you every 2 days.
No, not really. Me and my side of the team, we have updated them every single step of the way. Every time we've had an appointment, every time we've done any surgery, procedure, any of that kind of stuff, they know exactly what's going on, what time it happened, everything, what hospital it was at, what doctors we're seeing. They know everything. So yeah, all good.
How are you feeling now? How are the eyes?
Getting better, actually. Getting better.
Okay,
so pretty happy with it. Like everything's going really well. I actually went for a scan last week, the beginning of last week, and things are moving in the right direction. Everything's positive. Back in the gym a little bit, training. No contact just yet, though. No contact just yet. So I'm just waiting for the green light from the doctor on that. So I'm still not medically cleared to do any like head contact or anything like that. But
a lot of people don't realize for injuries like that, you shouldn't even like even if a doctor clears you, they're probably only clearing him because that's like his main income of money. But any other person, they wouldn't let them do those things.
things are moving in the right direction for sure.
Is he giving you a timeline like, hey, by April, by May, I think you'll be here, you'll be good then?
Not really. They just keep so. There's so many. There's some like conspiracy theories. So I'm not even going to speak too much on my medical stuff because people just come out and try and like debunk me on it, and it's like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, I'm just making all this shit up, lads. Don't worry about it. But we had a couple of complications with it where I had to go in once a week for scans. But anyway, that's now been cleared, and I'm now going once a month, so we're getting a lot better. That's great.
Do you think that you will fight in 2026?
I hope so. I think so.
Are they giving you that indication?
They're giving me the indication that everything's going in the right direction and improving fast. So there was a time when things were all up in the air because we had some complications with it, but everything now is moving good, and I'm feeling a lot better. So, and I can really see the difference in the way the vision is, because vision is something that you use obviously every second of every day. So I'm feeling really good about it at the moment.
It's great to see the hope and optimism and hear it. Was there a point where you thought this might be it, that you'd maybe never fight again?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Was that terrifying?
He definitely had to think that.
I just thought, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Because you got to remember, mate, like I've been involved in martial arts since I was 8 years old. I'm about to be 33 next month. So without being able to do any kind of martial arts, I'm not even talking about competing. Like at some points they were talking about potentially me not being able to train martial arts. So, but that's all in the past, mate. So I am out the little dark patch, and we're moving towards the light. So I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing with it all, mate. I'm feeling great because
it's amazing.
You know what's great is my body's like had a good rest as well, which is something that I've never really had. So I'm feeling like fresh and good, and I've started training again, and I feel in good spirits, mate. I feel really good.
Incredible to hear, and I feel like there's a lot of things working in your favor. This announcement with Eddie seems to have rejuvenated you to a degree. This medical update as well, and it feels like business has picked up a little bit in your weight class because we get the news on Saturday. It's Pereira versus Gane for the interim title. What did you think? I saw your video, but just curious, did you think that it would have been Pereira versus someone else interim? I know the John stuff was out there as well. What did you think when you saw that announcement?
Yeah, I was absolutely sure that it was going to be Pereira and John Jones with the hype that everyone was giving on the White House card. I was like pretty sure like this is going to be a big fight between these two guys, because at this point, Alex Pereira is also a legend in the sport, so it's going to be like two legends at the White House card. I thought it made complete sense, but well, why is John not fighting? Is it because of money? They don't want to pay him. What's going on?
Oh yeah, I can tell you everything that's going on. They negotiated. He wanted a number that was similar to the number that he asked for to fight you in that 30 million range. They came back with a number that was closer to what Conor Benn received. That seems to be the new benchmark. And they negotiated, and it was very clear that they weren't going to budge. And so they moved on to the other fights. There was a moment where it seemed like Islam versus Ilya could have been the fight. Islam unavailable, so they went with Ilya in the main event against Gaethje, and then Alex and Gane in the co-main event. But I don't know if you saw it. We were fixing your Wi-Fi. While we were doing that, amazingly, John Jones went on Twitter and asked to be released. Here's the thing. I'm not going to read it for you here, but he basically said that he feels like he was called a liar, that he was negotiating, that he's ready to fight, that he shouldn't be told that he's done. And if they don't want to have him fight, that he wants to be released. So some massive disappointment there from John.
Wow. Well, my reaction to that, and this is going to probably be crazy to a lot of people listening, but why is the UFC not giving John the respect he deserves financially? That's crazy to me.
Do you feel like there's a growing sentiment?
For John?
No, that the fighters in the UFC aren't getting what they're owed.
Well, if anyone should be getting paid a lot in this sport, it should be John Jones for the stuff that he's done. And that's me. That's me saying that.
Yeah.
After the history that I've had with John Jones, if anybody should be getting money in this sport, it's John Jones.
Are you surprised they're not giving it to him?
Well, they offered him 30 million to fight me, so why have they not offered it again? I don't understand. Ariel, you're the man. You're the man in the know.
I think it's yesterday's deal is in today's deal, or that type of thing.
Okay.
And I think also the thinking is.
And the UFC definitely has what it takes to pay him. You heard Piers Morgan say in the interview previously, it's a multi-billion-dollar organization.
Is, hey, we're losing money off of this White House card, the 60 million. I mean, I agree with you. I think John Jones, if Conor Benn is a $15 million fighter, more power to him. I think it's great that he got that. John Jones is actually more than a $30 million fighter. And Conor McGregor's probably a $75 million fighter, if you get what I'm saying.
Completely agreed.
And you're probably a $25 million fighter.
I would hope so. But those guys who we're talking about, Conor McGregor and John Jones and guys like that, like they bring in the other guy. Those are the guys who brought in the revenue for over 10 years.
Yeah.
They need to be getting paid what they deserve, in my opinion.
How do you feel about the interim title being instituted?
I don't know. I think the guys need to get their money ready for my fight. If we're talking about 25 million, I think
that was my idea.
25 million. Get it ready, because I'm ready to get that.
But interim title, are you okay with that?
Well, what else are they going to do?
Yeah.
Who else is knocking around in the heavyweight division?
How do you feel about the matchup?
What other matchup are they going to do?
No, meaning like Pereira's the underdog in it from a betting standpoint. So that's the sentiment off the bat. Do you feel like that's right?
I don't know. Could go either way. You never know. It's difficult to say because Pereira's never fought heavyweight before. So
right.
But you can definitely win the fight. It could go either way.
Do you have a preference?
Who wins?
Yeah.
I'd like to fight both of them. Both would be fantastic.
Well, that's why I feel like it's a win-win for you. If Gane beats Pereira, his stock is even higher now, and there's the story with you. And then if Pereira beats him, it's freaking Alex Pereira now going for another belt against the undisputed. Like I feel like all of a sudden, initially I would have said, I don't want them to waste the Gane Aspinall fight, but I feel like now it will only raise whatever fight you're coming back to.
Like I said, mate, they better get that money ready.
So what does that mean? What does that mean, Tom?
Eddie Hearn might be getting tagged in.
What else would that mean? But look at how Ariel Helwani tries to pry the negativity out of Tom Aspinall and put him in the worst position with UFC when he started off in a good position with Dana White, good relationship with Dana White. But the question he's asking and prying, you don't think Dana White's going to hear and see this?
But you do. So what happens? You have a contract, right? What if they say we're not negotiating?
I've got a good team behind me.
Yeah. Have you even started that yet? Because when you last fought, it was in the old era, not the new Paramount Plus era without pay-per-view.
Yeah, I've got no idea how that stuff works, to be honest, with the this new contract. This is since I've been injured, so I've absolutely no idea how that thing works.
When do you think it will ramp up?
What, the money?
No, just the talks. Like, when do you think you start to gauge?
Well, I got to get fit first. I got to get medically cleared and get myself fit and in the gym properly. Like I said, I have started training a little bit.
Luke Renison, regarding this comment, I don't think they're going to give Aspinall a heavy hitter right away. I think they're going to probably ease him into the game. You feel what I'm saying? It's going to be dangerous to give somebody like Pereira right away, especially when they value Aspinall and they know he's an asset and he's going to bring in money in the future. They want to preserve him.
Very, very hungry to fight. Very hungry to fight. At the same time, I ain't risking my eye to do it again. So it's got to be, I'm not doing another surgery on the eye. It's got to be, everything's got to be right medically first, but I am very, very keen to get back in there. That's for sure.
Did you see Francis Ngannou got a fight today?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, on the Netflix card. So it's like the Wild West out there.
Open season.
Open season.
Some may say.
Does this excite you?
Oh, maybe it's very exciting. I mean, in all honesty, I ain't trying to leave the UFC, but we can make some moves over there, I'm sure.
Even your mate Rico is fighting in boxing now. It's total chaos at heavyweight.
It's fantastic. I mean, fair play to Rico, and those guys need to start giving Rico a chance. Because
what do you mean? You think he's being disrespected?
I do think he's being disrespected. Yeah.
Okay.
Rico's the man. Granted, it's a different sport, but if Rico hits him, it could be over. And I'm not disrespecting Usyk. I am the biggest Usyk fan out there. But also, Rico can hold his own. Like, if he hits anybody, you've met him many times. He's a big, big, big guy, and the guy can punch. So if he hits Usyk, I wouldn't be surprised if it's over. But this is absolutely no disrespect to Usyk. Usyk is the man when it comes to boxing.
Are you going to be able to help him at all, or impossible?
When's the fight?
May 23rd.
Maybe. I mean, I hope so. Like I said, it's all down to the doctors. I ain't rushing back and getting, having to go back a step. I don't want to do that. So when I'm ready, when they tell me I'm ready, I'm going to get ready. And if I can be there for Rico, I will be.
The back and forth with Dana and Eddie, it's incredibly entertaining for the likes of me, the media. How do you feel about what's transpiring? Every day, it's a new chapter in the saga.
Can I tell you a little private story about Eddie?
Please.
Right. So when me and Eddie were like getting to know each other a little bit and we're planning this Monaco trip, Eddie said, like, what do you like to do? Like, what do you want to do? So to be honest, I don't really have any like hobbies or anything. All I really like doing is training and eating, basically. The other two things. So Eddie said, all right, well, we'll get some food and we'll go and train a little bit if you want. I said, oh yeah, sweet, mate. We'll get a workout in as well. That'd be good. Don't want to miss a day. And we did a little bit of boxing training, me and Eddie. And let me tell you, Eddie's got some hands. Like Dana talking about this boxing with Eddie, like Eddie seriously got some hands.
Would you help Eddie prepare for a fight against Dana?
I think he's just trying to make business moves there. I don't think Eddie Hearns really has hands.
He's going to get Andy Aspinall on the pads.
Hell yeah. Wow.
Andy Aspinall's going to be the coach.
Wow. Would you be in his corner?
I'll be the manager.
You'll negotiate the purse. Isn't it amazing?
Seriously, Eddie shocked me. He's got some serious. He's legit. He's got some legit hands.
What a world we're living in. What a timeline where we're even talking about this.
Do you think that could actually happen?
Probably not, but I can't even believe it's gotten to this point.
It's fun. I mean, I'd watch it.
The true thing is Dana has never had a foil like Eddie, at least not for a very long time. So to even see him in a back and forth like this is new.
It's a lot of fun. It's a big pantomime, big soap opera. It's fun.
You enjoy it? Do you partake in it? Like, do you consume it?
I mean, who doesn't? if you watch it, if you're a combat sports fan, it's just as fun as the fights.
Yes. No, it's a wild thing. I can't even believe that we're like, you're with Matchroom, them going, it's the whole thing is, who would have thought 4 months ago that we'd be in this position?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought about it. But listen, Matchroom's going to be the change in the face of MMA, I believe. I think that more fighters are going to start going over to Matchroom and working out the contracts and working out the commercial deals and exploring more stuff outside the octagon, because there's a lot more opportunities out there than we think.
Have you been told, or have you been reached out to by any fighters who are like, hey, what's the story? What's the crack? What's going on? What can you tell me? I'm interested. Can you put me in touch? That type of thing. I would imagine.
Yes, I have. Of course I have.
Wow. And are you telling them, hey, here it is. Here's the contact.
I'm telling them where to go. Yeah. If I'm friends with someone and they ask for my help, of course I'll help them.
Anyone who surprised you?
Yeah, there were actually, but I'm not gonna say it publicly. I'd never blow up someone else's business like that. But yeah, a couple of guys I was a bit shocked with. Yeah.
Could I just ask, and I'll let you in a moment, Tom, what would be your message to a UFC fighter who might be feeling some sort of way, but doesn't, to be honest, have the balls that you had last week, which is, hey, let me link up with the guys who are, quite frankly, at odds with my promoters now. Not a lot of people would have the balls to do that. What would be your message to someone who, I'm not saying, oh, come to Matchroom, but just saying like who might be feeling some sort of way but feels stuck right now?
I don't know. Like there's more out there than we think. There's more opportunities and money to be made than we're programmed to think, and you just got to explore a little bit.
You just hit it on the head right there, my friends. It's all about exploring. There's an infinite amount of money in the world. So whether or not you're a UFC fighter shouldn't be the reason that you're broke. Everybody's responsible for making income for themselves. So every time you hear one of these UFC fighters complaining, just know they're not doing everything they're supposed to be doing to be where they're supposed to be. It's nobody's responsibility but theirs.
And yeah, you just got to be smart about it.
Incredible. Well done to you. Congratulations on this. Most importantly, I'm so delighted to hear like the positivity in your voice and to see your demeanor. It's a much different Tom than the last one we spoke to. And I don't feel like you're BSing us. I feel like we're turning the corner here. The light is at the end of the tunnel for you, and that's incredibly exciting.
Thanks, mate. You can't BS good vibes, I don't think.
No.
I think that's got to be organic. But yeah, mate, everything's going really well, you know. Even like outside of fighting and stuff, everything's amazing. So I
feel like the storm has passed.
I mean, you never know. This is life. You never know you never know what's around the corner. So, but I'm enjoying the moments. This is something that I've figured out through all this is like, you got to enjoy the good bits. And this is, I've had many good bits in my life, many, many good times. And as I'm getting a little bit older and I've been through a few more stuff in my life, I'm really, really trying to slow down and enjoy them a little bit more, because when something like that happens and, you know, shit hits the fan big time, you start seeing what's what and who's who. And I've learned a lot from it, and I'm feeling good about the future.
It's amazing to see. Congratulations, Tom. Thank you for coming on as always. It was amazing to see you do all that media on Friday. Golly, I saw you doing all these interviews. And
Let me tell you, mate, nobody, and I've been around a lot of people who do a lot of media. Nobody does media like Eddie Hearn. Nobody. That guy, I was completely blown away by it. Like, I do 2 hours of media and I need to sit in a dark room by myself for a couple of hours. That guy bashed out probably north of 20 interviews with full energy, and then he's straight on to taking the piss out of everyone straight after it. Unbelievable.
Yes, it really is. I've seen him work like that. It's amazing. By the way, any byproduct of the deal just yet? Anything come through? I know it's been like 4 days, but have you seen any sort of byproduct?
Well, maybe we're working on a few things
already.
We've got a lot of stuff going on in the background. Don't get me wrong. Like, my dad and Charlie, who I work with, is basically my commercial team before Matchroom. They're working on stuff all the time. Like, I'm constantly busy with that kind of stuff. But this is just added to my team massively, and my revenue potential and commercial potential has increased and is going to continue to increase, you know, hopefully forever.
Well done, Tom. Thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate it. I know it's late over there. Congratulations. We'll let you go, and best of all, keep on getting better, continued progress in that regard, and hopefully we'll get some great news that you're officially back very soon.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
Man, there he is, the great Tom Aspinall, joining us, the reigning defending UFC heavyweight champion. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. We shall begin with a very special guest. And, you know, there I am watching UFC Seattle on Saturday night. It's a great card of the year, 6 finishes in the main card slot and all that stuff. But to me, the highlight was all of a sudden out of nowhere. I had no idea that this was going to happen, and maybe I should have known, but you know how it is. No idea. There we see a video package about Demetrius Johnson, who hasn't been talked about much in the UFC as of late. And there we see DJ with his lovely family, with his wife, his 2 kids. One was not in attendance. And there we find out that he is going to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame later on this year in July. And this warmed my heart to no end. This man is one of the greatest fighters of all time on my Mount Rushmore. This is a man who should have been in the UFC Hall of Fame already, but it's okay. It's okay. Better late than never. And it wasn't egregious. It wasn't egregious, but there was some doubt whether or not it would ever happen. It made me so very happy to see him get those flowers on Saturday, and I can't wait to see him get his proper flowers at the induction ceremony in July. He is kind enough to join us right here and now to talk about it all. There he is, Mighty Mouse himself. Hello, DJ. How are you?
I'm doing good, Ariel. Thanks for having me on again.
Look at you from the Santos studio over there. I see you sparring with Hamza yesterday, doing a little this, a little that. It's an unbelievable thing, a world tour of sorts.
Yeah, we're out here in California. We're at the Jackson Media House. And last night, Hamza is working extremely hard. And I mean hard, almost where, I don't miss it. That man is a machine. And so after the video just showed, he just got done working out. And then I was teaching. I was working with his team, just kind of showing some stuff I like to do and how I work on my movement. And then Hamza was like, come on down. Come on, let's move around a little bit. He's so fucking strong and big, man. Like sometimes I forget that I'm 5'3", but I have a heart of a fucking giant. I'm like, I can fight with him. Yeah, it didn't work out that way.
Are you a part of the team? Are you a part of the camp, or just doing some training videos with him like we've seen you do with TJ, Armin, and others?
I'm not part of the camp. I'm just out here doing some videos. I got a shoot today with Man's Health and then some stuff with Jackson and Santo, and he's in town. And I'm going to work out with them today. I'm going to join wrestling practice, and we'll create some content, but I'm not worthy to be on that team. Everyone on that team is undefeated. Every single one of them are undefeated. So for me, I'm just here showing some love, bring some good vibes, good energy, and that's it.
I do want to say I am loving these videos. Like the interviews are fun, but you kind of dropping into these different camps and learning these different, styles, tendencies.
If I knock JDM out, of course I will knock him out. I will knock out.
Not Shakur versus Devon or Tank versus Devon no, Shakur versus Tank is what everyone wants to see.
A boxing analyst noted that Tank normally knocks opponents out and always gets paid because of his devastating power. But facing Shakur Stevenson, he warned, would be different, like Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury. He explained that when Tank meets someone he can't knock out, all that power only turns into frustration in the ring.
Tank knocked out. Tank gonna always get paid anytime he feel like fighting because he got that knockout ratio. But when he come across Shakur Stevenson, I'm gonna say it here on the front page, and Tank, I love you, brother, and still would love to talk to you. But when you get in there with Shakur, it's gonna remind me of Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury. Ooh. Because what you gonna do when you come across a you can't knock out? Only thing you're going to do is just get more frustrated.
That's a terrible analogy.
Justin Palmieri noted that if the fight happens, it would feature the two best in the division going at it. He acknowledged Shakur looked impressive stepping in on short notice against Padley, but noted the circumstances favored Shakur. Palmieri praised Shakur's heart and competitiveness, but admitted he didn't expect the fight to actually happen. If it did, he predicted a late stoppage victory for Tank, giving him the edge, while recognizing the matchup would be competitive until the finish.
We're going to see that. It's the two best in that division going at it. But I still think Tank edges him out. I think Shakur looked great against Padley coming in on late notice, but it was Padley. You know what I'm saying? The dude was on a roof 2 hours before he stepped in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So, all respect for the world. But yo, he got heart though. I love it. I love to see that, man. But yeah, I want to see. I want to see the fight happen. Do I think it's ever going to happen? I really don't, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it did, give me Tank late stoppage. late stoppage, only because Shakur's gonna have to bang with him towards the end. I think he's gonna.
Is it competitive until the stoppage?
Oh, absolutely. It's the two best in the world, you know. But I'm just giving that edge to Shakur. I'm going, or not Shakur, excuse me. I'm giving the edge to Tank over Shakur.
David Benavidez expressed excitement about a potential showdown between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, calling the 135 to 140 pound division hot right now. He noted that such a fight would be highly anticipated and by no means easy, highlighting how Shakur had recently dominated a top fighter like Teofimo. Benavidez also praised Stevenson for becoming a 4-division champion, noting his legendary status, Hall of Fame trajectory, and young age. The ex-post summed it up. The fight fans most want to see is Tank versus Shakur.
It seems like obviously Shakur Teo was the hot fight that just happened, and Shakur, hot fighter, with his dominant win. Give me the one fight you would love to see two guys right now who are in their prime.
Off of that victory this weekend, I would love to see Shakur and Gervonta. You know, I think Gervonta and anybody in that, any of the top guys at that weight class is a great fight. Gervonta, Shakur, Gervonta Teo, Gervonta Keyshawn. I mean, that 135 to 140 pound weight class is hot right now. You know what I mean? But that would be a great fight. I think probably that would be one of the fights that would be the most anticipated. You know, if they can make happen, Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. By no means it would be easy for either fighter. You know, we just seen that Shakur Stevens was able to shut a great fighter like Teofimo down and made him look silly. So that would be a great fight, you know. And a big shout out to Shakur Stevens becoming a 4-time division champion. You know, he's on legendary status. He's on his way to be a Hall of Famer too, and he's still very young.
Chris Algieri highlighted the clash of styles in the 135-pound division, calling it fascinating. He pointed out that Tank combines offense and destructive power, while Shakur relies on defense, timing, and distance control. Algieri said that contrast is exactly what makes the matchup so compelling and keeps the debate alive. Who truly is the man?
Tank has it all. And it's very interesting because we have a guy who's so good and so offensive and so destructive. And then we have another guy who's so defensive, it's so hard to hit, and such a good judge of distance. It's a very, very interesting weight class, 135, which is exactly why we're talking right now. Who's the man?
Terrence Crawford picked Shakur Stevenson over Gervonta Davis, emphasizing that his choice came down to pure boxing skill. While he recognized Tank's talent and power, Crawford insisted that Shakur presents a completely different challenge in the ring.
Brother, you know what I'm saying? Shakur, that's the fight. Everybody want to see that. That's the 50-50. I think, you know what I'm saying? I've been saying 50-50. I told both of them that. That's a toss-up to me. No bias. Don't just say that because it's your man. Who you got winning that?
I got Shakur.
Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Like, boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna take his personality and personal things out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing, he's definitely talented. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And yeah, he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter.
Terrence Crawford described Shakur as a unique challenge. While some might label him boring or question his power, Crawford emphasized that Tank won't find him easy to hit like other opponents. He also noted that Davis tends to downplay Shakur's accomplishments, turning the narrative more into marketing than the truth.
Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else. And he know that. He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring. He's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything that Shakur have done. So it's not marketable.
Furthermore, Timothy Bradley pointed out the doubts surrounding Gervonta Davis, questioning the quality of his competition. He also considered what Shakur Stevenson would truly gain from a win, suggesting the payoff might be more about money than boosting his standing in boxing history.
You already know the perception of Tank by many of the boxing pundits, and it's the fans of boxing. You know, you already know how they feel about Tank Davis when it comes to, you know, I hear people talk about his resume. I hear people talking about well, he's only one division champion. He really only won one belt. The guys that he's faced, he hasn't faced a top tier elite fighter, so on and so forth. So, with that being said, why even want to entertain the fight with Tank Davis? I mean, how much credit are you going to really get, Shakur, besides the money, right?
Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis has made his return to training, preparing for his next fight. While his opponent hasn't been announced, Tank is approaching every session with focus and determination, aiming to come back stronger and sharper than ever. Gervonta Davis is back in the gym, fully focused on improving his technique, boosting his stamina, and perfecting the strategy he intends to use in the ring. At the same time, there are talks about Shakur Stevenson possibly fighting Ryan Garcia, creating more excitement around his next move. Ryan is eager to face Shakur, but he also acknowledges the importance of the Haney fight. He explained he wants to move directly from Barrios to Shakur, skipping nothing in between.
We need that Haney fight too, though.
No, I know that's always gonna be there though, but that's who I want to fight. I want to go from Barrios to Shakur.
Oh, like straight to it.
Yeah.
What, 47?
44.
Shakur welcomed the matchup, calling it perfect and full of excitement. He added that it would also be a big money fight.
It'll be a lot of excitement to that fight. It's a big money fight. Ryan Garcia is somebody that comes in there.
Shakur Stevenson explained that Ryan Garcia is unpredictable. Sometimes he shows up sharp, other times not. Either way, Shakur believes Garcia wouldn't stand a chance.
You never know which version of him is going to show up. So if the good version of him show up, he gets spanked. If the bad version of him show up, he gets spanked. Either way, he don't stand a chance. Like, he don't stand a chance.
Yeah, look, Shakur,
I love how you
Sergio Mora described Ryan Garcia as flat-footed, while portraying Shakur as lightning fast and elusive. He explained that Shakur's Olympic-level skills, ability to move through weight classes, and defensive mastery make power alone ineffective against him. He compared Shakur to legends like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Andre Ward, highlighting his timing, confidence, and momentum, and called him a truly special fighter.
Ryan Garcia is flat-footed. Shakur Stevenson is a cheetah in and out, man. I mean, he's been so successful from the Olympics to moving up in weight divisions. Power's not going to be enough for him. And if you're not going to be a volume puncher, like Ryan Garcia clearly is not a volume puncher, then how are you going to beat Shakur Stevenson? How are you going to be able to compete with that in-and-out southpaw style where he doesn't engage with you? The timing, the confidence, the momentum. Shakur is cut from the cloth of Floyd Mayweather Jr., Andre Ward, and these greats that don't get touched, they don't get hit. The defensive geniuses, Pernell Whitaker. I mean, these are big names, but Shakur's cut from that cloth, and he's special.
Expressing his thoughts on this possible matchup, boxing journalist Sean Zittel noted that Ryan Garcia struggles when his confidence wavers, with recent knockdowns disrupting his rhythm. He explained that over 12 rounds, Shakur's precision and control could exploit that, though Shakur lacks one-punch knockout power. Zittel added that while Ryan enters as the underdog, the contrasting styles could still make the fight surprisingly competitive.
He fights when he's feeling it and he's confident. It's a different animal in there. And they both tamed him in the second round with their knockdowns. And so maybe Shakur over 12 rounds will do because he's so pinpoint. Look, Devin and Shakur, I'm not saying they can't punch. Devin showed against Brian Norman he can punch. Shakur is one of those guys so sharp, so pinpoint, like Floyd was once he got in higher weight classes. Okay, he may not stop you necessarily, but he's got enough to keep you respectful and not. But that being said, since they don't quite crack like Gervonta and Rolly, I think that's an interesting element of Ryan against both of them. Ryan's a little bit bigger than Shakur. He's very fast. He punches hard. And then we already saw the first time with Devin, it's every time they fought in the amateurs, it was a tough fight both ways. So he's he's the underdog against Shakur, but I think he's a more competitive matchup than Tiafimo turned out to be. Styles make fights.
I agree.
And then Devin, I think a lot of people look at the rematch as a 50-50 fight.
Gary Russell Jr. observed that Ryan Garcia has shown little respect for opponents' power, previously underestimating Devin and believing he could hurt him. Russell suggested that the same mindset would likely continue against Shakur, with Ryan not intimidated by Shakur's power. He stressed, however, that the real challenge lies in timing and strategy, noting the fight would hinge on how and when Garcia chooses to launch his attacks.
Devin's pop, his power, or none of that. He didn't respect that. Ryan had the ability to hurt him. I believe, just like with you mentioned with Shakur, Ryan won't respect Shakur's power. And he does have the ability to hurt Shakur. The difference is, I think Shakur...
Can he hit him?
That's going to be the issue. How you attack and when you attack. That's going to be the issue. Just like with Andy Hiroka, the same way with my younger brother competing against Andy Hiroka.
Timothy Bradley Jr. also stated that he views a Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson matchup as heavily one-sided. He argued that neither speed nor power would matter if Garcia couldn't land clean shots, expressing doubt that Garcia could connect effectively. Bradley questioned Garcia's consistency, noting that occasional flashes of brilliance aren't enough, and insisted that until Ryan performs at that level consistently, skepticism will persist.
Everybody keep talking about this Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson fight. Boy, I'm here to let you know this shit gonna be easier than the Teofimo Lopez fight, because it's about skills inside that damn ring. That's what it's about. Ryan can have all the speed in the world. Shakur got speed. He can have all the power in the world. Oh, he can have all the power. Yeah. Oh yeah. But when he can't land on shit, that shit don't mean nothing. And he ain't gonna land on Shakur. Shit, no, it's not gonna happen. And it's gonna be like taking candy from a damn baby. That's what it's gonna be like. Taking candy from a baby. A lot of upset folks, a lot of people depressed. Yeah, it took this man 10 years to win a championship. One championship, 10 years. Oh, that's y'all king? Okay, let it be y'all king, all right? No doubt. But hey, you get consistent with your performances, Ryan Garcia, maybe I'll believe in you. Maybe I'll just believe in your ass, but you ain't consistent, my boy. This is a one, well, maybe two off. But you know, again, that time when you look good, yeah, when you supposedly didn't train, that time, oh yeah, you look good like that in this fight for sure. Oh, you did.
Aiden Ross also weighed in on a potential Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson fight, praising both fighters for their skills. He acknowledged Shakur would enter as the favorite, but noted the matchup would be close. Ultimately, Aiden predicted that Ryan has the tools to come out on top.
Ryan Garcia, dude, shout out to Ryan. You know what, man? That Ryan-Shakur fight's going to be a good one. Chad, if Ryan and Shakur fight in about 6 months to a year, who do you guys think wins? I got to go Ryan on that. I think Shakur will be the favorite. But Shakur's just they're both so fucking good. It also just matters what's in that clause. I think Ryan gets it done.
That wraps up today's video, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts on this fight in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more news and updates.
Live from Los Angeles, this is Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I'm your host, Max Kellerman, and joining me to my right, a former heavyweight contender and world-class trainer, Malik Scott.
What's up, Max?
Yes, round of applause. To my left, in New York, he'd be called a rat, but in LA, he's called an insider. Ring Magazine senior insider, Mike Coppinger. And to Mike's left, a guy who just couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger on a Deontay Wilder bet with former all-decade NFL running back and future NFL Hall of Famer, Shady McCoy.
Bomb Squad! Thank you, Shady.
Let's go!
Thank you for not taking my money.
You picked the wrong one, I told you.
You did tell me.
Bomb Squad! Coming up on today's show, we will chat with the Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury, ahead of his return to the ring this upcoming Saturday against Arslan Bek, Makhmudov, and joining us a bit later, Hamza Shiraz, the chief support for the epic Glory in Giza card on May 23rd, live from the pyramids of Egypt. But right now, it is time for the lead hook. This Saturday in London, live on Netflix, former two-time heavyweight champion Tyson Fury returns after yet another retirement and takes on Arslanbek Makhmudov. Fury is 37 years old. He hasn't fought since his loss to Alexander Usyk in December 2024. Malik, other than winning, what do you need to see from Fury in this fight to believe he can still compete at the top of this division?
Well, unfortunately, Max, Fury don't get I would say the kind of pass that most would get after such inactivity. And the type of opponent he's going against is a big guy, but he's a bit slow. And in my opinion, he's a bit vulnerable for everything that Fury has to offer. Inactive or if he's been fighting a lot. I just think he's tailor-made for everything Fury got to give.
What's crazy about Fury is when he's at his best, he's one of the all-time greats in the division because he's 6'8", 270 pounds, moves like a lightweight, has radar to avoid punches, has a ton of heart getting off the deck in all kinds of situations, coming back to win. But when he's at his worst, he almost lost to Ngannou. It's such a swing with him. What do you think? What are we supposed to expect here?
Yeah, look, like you said, he's been out for a long time. He's getting up in age. He's been in a lot of tough fights, too. I mean, people forget that third fight with Wilder was grueling. I think it took a lot out of him. Now you have his father trying to say that Fury's past it. Look, I expect Fury to still be pretty good, like Malik said. He trains, I think he's training really hard from what I've been hearing in Thailand. He's in good spirits, and he loves these kind of stages. Stadium fight on Netflix.
You know,
and his body looked good too. Fury good. His body looks Fury good.
Yeah,
Fury
good.
good.
Mike just said something that blew my mind, guys. I had never thought of it like that. You know, because after the Thriller in Manila, Muhammad Ali still beat some good heavyweights because he's Ali. He was never the same, right? It never dawned on me that he really has been a different fighter since the third Wilder fight. That was an epic, brutal fight, and that can take it out of you. Where are you?
I mean, are we talking about the Gypsy King here? Listen, he's gonna be ready for his fight. I think he wins convincingly. He can box with the best of them at that size. The one thing I love about him is he predicts the fight. When I say predicts it, he controls it. Even the Usyk fight, even the first one, he played around with him. But for a lot of that fight, he was whooping on him. And that's Usyk we talking about. So I think we see the Gypsy King come back to real form, right? Puts a great performance on because he wants everybody to know, I'm coming back. And when Tyson Fury comes back, he lets the world know. So I'm expecting my guy to go on and do his thing.
It's a great point about the Usyk fight. And I bring this up all the time, how by the middle of that fight, it was a little embarrassing.
Come on,
how he was outclassing Usyk. He was playing with him. He was embarrassing him. He had separated himself. But let's take it a step further. The reason Usyk, who's already an all-time great at cruiserweight and who'd beaten Anthony Joshua twice, right? But the reason, number one reason, we consider him among the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time is because he came back and won that fight against Fury. When you're the guy who the other guy proves he's one of the greatest fighters ever against, that says a lot about you.
This may sound crazy to some, but I think Fury's actually underrated all time. I think, you look at his body. Like Roy Jones always says, right? Y'all must have forgot. I think Fury's going to remind everybody on Saturday. I think Makhmudov is the perfect opponent. The guy just went life and death with Dave Allen, who's undersized heavyweight.
Y'all got Fury by stoppage or by distance? You too, Shady. Fury is by stoppage or by distance?
I think distance. I think he's going to take his time. He's going to boxing.
You too, Mike?
I'm saying knockout. I'm going to say middle round.
You know why I'm going to say? I'm going to say knockout? Sugar Hill. When Fury gets with the Kronk, is when he has it in his mind, I'm knocking this dude out.
He becomes the Kronk. Yes, you do.
And the thing about Fury that's crazy is, after the first fight with Wilder, he should have won on points. He got a draw. And he said, I'm going with Sugar Hill because I want to knock him out. When you hear a fighter say he needs to change fundamentally who he is as a fighter, so he's going with a new trainer, that is almost always nonsense. You can't just change your strikes in one fight. But it's exactly what he did.
And he did that in a fight. He came from a fight where he got knocked down twice. He felt Deontay power, and something told him, I could do this if I go forward. So you got to commend him on that.
He hit him with the Kronk style and knocked him out.
That's what I'm saying. He really controls what he wants to do.
Yes.
A lot of fighters can't do that. If I want to go ahead and knock this guy out, I'm going to try to do that. If I want to box him, I'll go box him. That's how
he hit him with the Kronk style, and Wilder's built like the ultimate Kronk fighter, not Fury. And Sugar Hill came. So I see Sugar Hill, I think, he's thinking, I'm knocking him out.
Max, that's a great point because people forget. It was laughed at when Fury said, I'm going to knock this guy out. Wilder said you have pillow hands. Fury was considered a boxer.
He wasn't a puncher.
Wilder was fine to say that.
Yes.
Me too.
It didn't match the first fight because the first fight he was with Ben Davis, which is a good style, but he was moving, circling. So when people say he's coming back for the knockout, when he said, we like, well, How?
Fury's also a guy who surprises you. Like, I was surprised by the Ngannou fight. It's surprising, right? Good and bad. But people forget now, Vladimir Klitschko had a 10-year run at the top of the division. A decade.
Right.
You love Larry Holmes. He had that kind of title reign. Long, just beating everybody. Who's eventually going to beat Klitschko? Now people remember where AJ got him at the very end. But Tyson Fury outboxed him and beat him clean when Klitschko was at the top.
Yes.
That was the first eye-opening
And that
surprise.
win goes, it gets swept under the rug because people don't like the way it looked. It wasn't
I'm one of the people who didn't like the way it looked.
He's definitely underrated, though. He's definitely underrated, for sure.
Totally underrated. And in terms of championship heart, SS Cunningham, good cruiserweight, but a smaller guy, knocked him down in a way you're like, oh, man, I don't know if he's getting up. Popped up and won the fight. Deontay Wilder detonated on him with a right hand in the 12th round. By the way, this is why I compare it to Ali Frazier. Yes, Ali Frazier's even better, but Frazier knocks Ali down, the quintessential left hook artist, in the 15th round of a brutal fight, right on the chin. 3 seconds on the floor, Ali is up and finishes the fight, right? But Tyson Fury did the same thing. Last round against the quintessential right-hand puncher, takes it right on the chin. So he's dead to the world.
Actually got hit with two shots.
Two shots, right. On the way down. Take that with you. And got up.
Not only did he get up, he was putting it on Wilder. He rocked Deontay to the end of the fight.
Tyson is special.
All right, guys, we know the plan for Fury is to win this fight and you fight AJ, right? But here's a question. Let me throw a curveball at you. Let's say Fury looks really sharp and he wins easily and he looks like himself. That's Tyson Fury. Would you rather see him against AJ, given the way AJ just looked in his last fight against Jake Paul?
We still got to count it. We still got to count it.
Hold on.
Shady, we do.
Hold on. Would you rather see him? First, I'm going to give you this option against one of the young guys, Caballel, Wardley, Atama. What would you rather see?
I want to see Joshua. I love big events, and this is the biggest fight in British history. I mean, boxing-rich country,
Bigger than Bruno and Lennox Lewis. Yeah, I think so.
So, I love big events.
I'm sitting up here, and I'm with all these experts, all these years of experience, and you had the nerve to ask that question? Why do we want to see Fury versus AJ? Seriously, though. Because you beat Jake Paul? What?
You're saying it's too lopsided? If Fury looks like himself, it's too lopsided.
If Fury is at his best, like we know him to be, he wipes the floor with AJ. Are you serious?
But let's say Fury doesn't look so good and he barely wins. I'm
still trying to figure this thing out, man. Right? I know we had April Fool's Day the first, and I'm past that. But I want to tell me, like, why are y'all so big on AJ? I don't know what it is.
He knocked out Klitschko. You can say whatever
he
you
was
want.
old.
Klitschko beats any other heavyweight on that night.
He was old.
And he climbed off the deck to knock him out. He beat Joseph Parker, who was
when he didn't arrive.
Excellent heavyweight, but he's good. The Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist. He's got real wins.
All I'm saying is everybody we just talked about Usyk earlier. We talked about Wilder. We talked about Fury. AJ can't sit with these guys.
All right, listen.
Come on, man.
So would you agree with that?
AJ, go get the coffee.
The better Fury looks, the less you want to see him fight AJ. But what about the worse he looks? Let's say you look at Fury and you're like, that ain't it anymore.
He's still
but he wins.
See Fury and
How about
Deontay.
Fury and well, we're gonna get to that in a second. How about Fury and AJ then? As a big event.
It's just funny though, because like you're saying, the worse we see.
The more you want to see him fight AJ. Yes,
that's to show you what AJ, who he really.
At this point, maybe. All right, but by the way, sleep on AJ though. AJ might surprise
I'm sleeping and going to continue to.
Meantime, Makhmudov is not compared to Fury, but compared to most, a big physical heavyweight. What kind of challenge does he present?
I think he presents the kind of challenge that if Fury's sleeping on him, he's going to be in for a rough night. This is a massive man. I think he's about the same size as Fury. He can punch. He's physical. He's strong, but he is a slow plotter. If Fury's on his game, Fury should play with him, but he can't take him lightly. And I think this is the perfect kind of tune-up for a fight with Joshua.
And I also think he's a bit of a front runner too, Mike. When things get rough.
Can he punch harder than Wilder though? He can punch with some volume. We've seen he can stay in there and he's strong, but Wilder is a different level.
For him, even Allen was able to make things rough every time he get hit to the body. We've seen how he's been. And I could just only imagine once Fury catch up to him and start hitting with
You
shots.
mentioned to the body. That's what Caballel did. He broke him down to the body. And we've seen Fury, as we've mentioned, beat a lot of different guys, a lot of different ways, right? How does he fight this fight, do you think?
I think he's going to go straight at him and try to steamroll him, the kind of the way he fought Wilder the second time.
I actually think he's going to do opposite, and I think he's only going to do opposite because the inactivity. He's going to go in there thinking a bit, but once he realized he could put his hands on him whenever he wants, he's going to start using the
Now that's the person, Caballero. That's what you need to see. I like to see Fury versus Caballero.
Yeah,
right?
that's a little Ali Frazier.
That was actually in talks years ago.
There was.
Remember?
We need that.
I like
because
that.
now, I was lost. Now we found a location. We sent that location to him and signed that deal.
In the co-main feature, Conor Benn, coming off a career-best win over Chris Eubank Jr. in their rematch, takes on Regis Prograis. Cop.
Good fight.
This is a war on paper. But considering where they both are in their respective careers, is the expectation that Ben should score a knockout here?
I think if Conor Benn wants to continue the momentum he has from the fight of the year, lost to Chris Eubank, and then the dominant win he had in the rematch in November, he needs a knockout. I think he should get it late in the fight, maybe the last round of the 10-round fight. But I don't know, it's 50-50. Prograis, I know Prograis is a little past it, but he has a lot of heart. He's going to be game.
Experienced, he's tough and athletic. Can he push Ben into a long, tough fight, do you think?
Yes, I believe that. And I also believe he can do that because he's rejuvenated. He switched camps. He's been in Vegas working out. He's telling everybody how. So in his last fight, he was going back and forth, toe to toe with, I believe it was it Diaz? Who did he fight in the last fight? Yes, that was a back and forth. Now, you guys know how I always talk about Conor here. I'm very big on him. And I think if he fight the way that he fought Chris Eubank Jr. in any of those fights, he give everybody trouble.
Nah, man, we tripping.
I know.
Conor been hot right now. He hot, a lot of momentum. Right, fought some good fighters. I'm rolling with him.
Yeah, me too.
And Progress, I'm not saying nothing wrong with him. He's solid, right? I watched him fought Devin Haney. I didn't like that. Did a lot of talking, and he didn't do a lot of punching. When I watched Conor Ben, though, the way he talked, that's what he fights.
Yeah, the Prograis who fought.
Yes, he come and get you.
He come and get you.
The Prograis who fought and lost the unification at 140 pounds is a guy against Conor Ben who I would probably pick.
Yes,
because Ben punching too.
That guy has not been around for a while, but Prograis is athletic.
Yes, he is.
He's tough, and he can punch.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's tough too. Yeah.
If you're an athletic, tough guy who can punch, fighters who have a certain quality, the danger is even if they're older, they can recapture it for a night, for a given night. Just like a great football player, maybe he can't do it every week, right? But in a given game, he can show flashes that remind you.
Yes.
Only thing about Conor is like he's the type of guy that looks like he don't take nothing easy. You know what I'm saying? So if I got a weak opponent, I'm still gonna train as hard as hell the same way. And I think having a dad that comes from that background, that's seen the best, right? That's did it all's already did it. I don't think he's gonna take this light easy. I think he's going there get the job done, and we move on. We'll be talking about another bigger fight for Conor Ben,
right?
And I think the weight is a factor here. Regis Prograis is 140 pounds, going up 10 pounds to 150. A lot of times when you see these guys move up in weight at this stage, it's trouble.
And you also look at the fact that Conor Ben, not only does he have the momentum, first of all, the first fight.
That does typically signify trouble in boxing if they're moving up in weight later on in age.
With Eubank was epic.
Yes, it was.
You couldn't even, if you saw it in a movie, you'd be like, come on. It's a good movie, but it's not real.
Magazine fight of the year.
Yeah, right. But even with the father getting out and the whole thing, it's a movie. And the way it ended, even it's very rocky. He has this big rally in the last round, and it's not quite enough, but he loses the fight, but in a way wins the event, Ben, right? And then in the rematch, dominates. The first Ben win against the Eubank over 2 generations, right? He's riding this crest of this wave in England right now, especially. And so many big fights can be made, especially because he's seen as vulnerable. Other top fighters like to call him out because they think it's a big payday. He is being put in with Prograis because it's likely to make a good fight, like a really good action fight, that Ben can win and continue. But there's a danger in that. If Ben feels like, okay, here comes my gimme fight, if Prograis shows up to, on that special
I
night.
can't see him thinking like that. It's a lot riding on Ben. I think actually the pressure.
No, I think Ben's a real professional. He ain't even on that take time.
Excuse my voice, guys. Voice from yelling. The pressure is actually on Ben.
Right.
Zuffa deal. Stuff with Netflix. This is really his stage.
To shine.
If he don't show up, everybody's gonna be like, all of that for that?
Yeah.
That's a great point, bro.
That's a great
Yeah,
point. Bro,
you know
Eddie
Eddie
Hearn
Hearn
is
is
going to be
there to
like this.
troll him.
Eddie's going to be like this. The pressure's on Conor, and I believe he's going to rise to the
There
occasion.
are some fighters you feel like when the lights are brightest, they show their best.
Yes.
And Conor strikes me as that kind of guy.
I agree, Max. Yes.
And I think he's loving this attention too. I've never been a player where, oh, they know me now. Oh, they know me now.
Watch this.
And you love that feeling. And if you watch the way that he conducts himself, he's respectful, but he loves getting this attention right now.
I'll tell you what else about that attention, which we don't talk about enough, and that makes my point. When you are the son of a famous athlete and then you play that same sport, you are often in the shadow and it's tough to escape.
That's true.
That goes for any sport. Ken Griffey Jr. was so great that people forget about Ken Griffey Sr., who was only an all-star. Right. But usually, a guy like Julio Cesar Chavez, good luck being his son. It is tough to his Shane Mosley Jr., right? Good fighter. He's headlining a Zuffa 6, but tough to escape Shane Mosley's shadow.
Come on now.
Conor Benn, look, Nigel Benn, so far through Conor's career, was a better fighter than Conor's.
Right.
Not that Conor hasn't been good, but Nigel was a lot. But he's kind of escaped his shadow.
Yes, he has.
Right? When you hear Conor Benn, is the first thing you think Nigel Benn?
No, Conor Benn.
It's not.
Right, that's a great point.
I think Conor.
I hear Junior, I think Shane, I think Julio, right? But I don't think Nigel Benn first anymore.
Right.
Again, Fury versus Makhmudov on this Saturday on
The Gypsy
Netflix.
King.
The fight is at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There it is.
I don't know.
Y'all got a fair fight, man. I got the Gypsy King, man. To me, he could do no wrong.
Guys, there's the favorite. Ben and Progress just on the undercard. It's going to be a big atmosphere, big card. I mean, it's not on Netflix for no reason.
Yeah, I can't wait to be there. I'm flying out later tonight and going to be in London tomorrow. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I think those are two good heavyweight fights on the undercard, too. Don't sleep on them. Fraser Clark was in a war with Wardley.
Yeah.
And then you have...
Yeah, you're right. Like, gave him his best fight before the Parker fight.
And Jamie TKV also against Barack Pro. That's a good fight.
That's a very good fight.
That's hard.
Before we get to the break, let's take a look at Mike Coppinger's picks for the week for the Ring Fantasy Pick'em game. This is a lot of fun. Mike, take it away.
All right, so we have Osley Iglesias, one of my favorite fighters under the radar in the sport. Big puncher at light heavyweight. He's going for this is a title fight, and this is I'm going over a round 7 TKO against Pavel. I'm going to pull Max here. Salajan, I think. He's a tough fighter from Eastern Europe, but he's been there. He's easy there. He's there to be hit. Moving on, look, I love Tenshin Asakawa. He has balls. He has charisma. He's
By the way, this is what I love about Japanese names. Phonetic.
Yeah.
Even I can't mess them up. Yes, but go ahead.
Yeah, look, I love this fight. Nasukawa is a firefighter, and Juan Francisco Estrada is one of the all-time greats. At 118 pounds, I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm going with Estrada in Japan by decision on the road. Moving on, Conor Benn, Regis Prograis. Like we said earlier, I'm going to go Ben getting the stoppage in the final round of this 10-round fight, similar to the final round in his last fight. And then Fury and Makhmudov, I'm going to say round 7. These would be, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that, Max.
You can get involved in the action too. Scan the QR code to play along with thousands of other users on the Rings Fantasy Pick'em game for cash prizes and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Guys, anyone who plays fantasy sports, you think you love the sport you're watching, then you play, especially daily fantasy, right? If it's football, but that's what this is like. And it makes it better. You got a little skin in the game. Must be 18 years old to play. No purchase or entry fee required. See game rules and term conditions for full details. For those watching on YouTube, head over to DAZN to catch the rest of the show. Coming up, Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora have a wild one on Saturday, and we're going to get into it. That's why I was holding off the Deontay talk. This is Inside the Ring.
Results?
Propose of exhibition that was long time ago, year after our first fight, but I didn't agree. Then I want a real fight, so he signed what I signed. He signed a real fight, and I signed a real fight. He got his advance, so there's no reason to make excuses of that.
And I told Ocho, I said, Ocho, think about it. You at this age, you gonna put that undefeated record on the line? That's his whole thing, Ocho. The whole thing is undefeated.
Yeah.
The whole time. That's why he said, no. Manny said, no, I want to be the one to put that one on there. I want to put that blemish on that record. No. This ain't no exhibition.
Exhibition.
I ain't playing.
You got the promotion saying this is a real fight. You got Floyd Mayweather saying, no, this is an exhibition. There's two things that are happening here. Either somebody messed up in paperwork or in communication or in some form of getting this fight together, misspoke to one of these guys, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix.
Manny Pacquiao reacts to rumors about a fallout with Floyd Mayweather, clarifying the talk about exhibition versus a real fight. He believes Floyd is making excuses to avoid it.
Everybody, the last few days, there's been rumors swirling around about you and Mayweather, and he's saying he's going to be an exhibition, you saying it's going to be a fight. And the second part of the question is, how would you face him for the second time after the first decision?
You know, that's proposed of exhibition that was long time ago, year after our first fight, but I didn't agree. And I want a real fight. So he signed what I signed. He signed a real fight, and I signed a real fight. He got his advantage.
I don't know if y'all have heard my take on this before, but I'm pretty sure this might all be a marketing player tactic to get more eyes on the fight once the time comes. Or maybe Floyd really is just going crazy and deep in money troubles. I don't think he's necessarily scamming. I don't think he has the wherewithal or the wits to scam.
And so there's no reason to make excuses of that. So that's true.
Well, we all look forward to that fight.
I mean, he signed a real fight, and he got his advance. So now makes excuses, no.
Shannon Sharp broke down the situation, calling it a major oversight by Floyd's team. He questioned how 3 signed agreements and advance payments could be ignored or mishandled.
That the potential rematch with Manny Pacquiao would only be an exhibition. Jasper Torres, CEO's manager, CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotion, and the event producer fired back, strongly opposing, saying Floyd is in breach of the contract. Floyd signed not 1, not 2, but 3 different agreements on 3 different dates, 2 different parties that ultimately got intertwined in a month of January, and this is all related to his return to professional boxing.
And he also took out a cash advance on that payment, and he has 2 fights in front of that, so he probably took out cash advances on those fights as well.
First one, October 24th. The second one, November the 6th. The third one, December 14th. He received money for all 3 agreements when he signed them. Not only that, but he has taken out an advance on his purse to fight Pacquiao.
Shannon Sharp questioned the oversight, relaying Pacquiao's stance. If Floyd feared putting his record on the line, he should have never signed. Sharp stressed Manny was never the one afraid.
Got your ass. Hold on, Ojo, hold on. Manny Pacquiao said he does not want to put the record, if he's scared not to put the record on the line, professional boxing match, not only should they have never executed these agreements, this is what Pacquiao manager said. If he's scared of Manny and does not want to put the record on the line in a professional boxing match, not only should he have never executed these agreements, but he should have just come right out and said because Manny ain't scared.
Wade Clemens pointed out that Floyd Mayweather said exhibition 3 times in one sentence. That was no accident. He added that Floyd chose Manny Pacquiao because a professional fight between them still brings blockbuster attention, but now Floyd is trying to change the terms.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times in that sentence, Floyd Mayweather said the word exhibition. That is not by mistake, folks. That's supposed to be a professional fight that Floyd is coming out and deliberately saying, it's not a professional fight. It's an exhibition. I'm going to come out, have some fun, and entertain. Someone in chat asked, out of all people, why choose Manny? What is it about Manny? He chose Manny because Manny brings in this, especially when you attach Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather to an actual pro fight, even at their age now. This brings a bit of that blockbuster back. Let's not forget, this is the highest selling pay-per-view fight in the history of combat sports. They did over 4 million pay-per-view buys. So, of course, Floyd would want to pick Manny. And yes, the pro aspect of it does sell because that's Floyd putting his pro record on the line. Here's the weird part about it. Floyd is outright saying it's an exhibition. It was promoted as a pro fight, and now things are going to get even crazier because Manny Pacquiao's like, no, it's not an exhibition. It's a pro fight.
Wade Plemons added that it would be one of the most unprofessional things imaginable, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix.
One of the most unprofessional things you could do, not trying to point the gun on Netflix or whoever else put this together, but something is off. Something's completely off because you got one person saying, it's a real fight. You got the promotion saying, this is a real fight. You got Floyd Mayweather saying, no, this is an exhibition. There's two things that are happening here. Either somebody messed up in paperwork or in communication or in some form of getting this fight together, misspoke to one of these guys, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix.
Wade Plemons further explained that Floyd Mayweather reportedly took a cash advance for the Pacquiao rematch, then undermined his own promotion to protect his 50-0 record while still making his money.
That is the only two things that can be possible here. Because we then get the report, as of yesterday, that Floyd Mayweather has already taken a cash advance payment of his purse for the upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite it currently being in jeopardy. I don't even know how that's possible. Who gave him a cash advance before they even got to the fight? I understand like paying some up front to secure the fight, but paying everything? Maybe it's not what it is. Maybe the cash advance is like partial. But still, what? So if this is to be believed, and this is via ESPN, this is not, random Twitter person reporting this. I think Mike Coppinger also reported the same thing. If this is to be believed, Floyd took a cash advance and then undermined the promotion of his own fight to try to protect his 50-0 record and still make a bag.
Oscar De La Hoya has now stepped forward, accusing Floyd Mayweather Jr. of hiding behind his perfect 50-0 record out of fear. Insisting the world sees Mayweather's reluctance to pursue a true rematch, De La Hoya even claimed that, in their original fight,
all the news on Mayweather, Pacquiao, potentially falling apart. I memean, I have to say this, Mayweather, come on, dude. Fight a real fight. You're still trying to protect your O. Yes, you're 50-0 on paper, but people know you've lost. Your own father said you lost against me back when we fought. And what's crazy is that people don't know that we had a rematch clause for 1 year. And what do? Your CS retires for 1 year and 1 day. Bro, ever since I got beat up by Manny Pacquiao in my last fight, I've wanted to fight every single day, but I couldn't because I wasn't right.
Oscar De La Hoya didn't hold back, mocking Floyd Mayweather Jr. for ducking a real fight with Manny Pacquiao. But Floyd conveniently retired instead, protecting that zero at all costs. Now Oscar claims he's ready for a rematch himself, even willing to take on Jake Paul, while calling Floyd out as someone terrified of a true showdown with Manny.
Physically, emotionally, I just wasn't right. All that depression, all that that I had within my spirit. But now these last 5 years, I've put in the work, man. Woo! I did a lot of work and I feel happy. I feel at peace. And you know what? A man at peace is a dangerous fucking man. I can fucking take on King Kong if I want and beat his ass. I'll even fight Jake Paul. Let's go!
All of this has put Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s mental state under a microscope. Questions are mounting over whether he's ducking Manny Pacquiao because of the contract mess, or if something deeper is going on. According to Showbiz the Adult, who spoke with Mayweather's son, Money Mayweather may simply not feel emotionally or spiritually ready for a real professional fight right now.
How do you beat Manny Pacquiao on the second go around?
We both winners. Because it's an exhibition, so we're both winners.
Listen, bro. I told you guys, having it be a professional fight didn't make sense. Be 51-0, 50-1. Floyd Mayweather was going to touch and play with his legacy like that. On top of that, I had Manny winning that fight. I know Floyd was looking good in the gym because his son said something to me on Instagram, said, you don't know how my dad is looking. But spiritually, it's just hard, bro. Just like a pro fight with Manny. Why? Manny's insane. He's driven by the comeback, the revenge, and all that. Floyd is in a far more confident space. He won the big fight. He could go on the rest of his life chilling. I don't see Floyd as ducking it. It just doesn't make sense.
Now, Jazz Mather has dropped an ultimatum on Floyd Mayweather Jr., warning that he is already in breach of contract and facing serious consequences. Mather stressed the violations go beyond one problem, pointing to the scheduled bout with Greek kickboxer Mike Zambides, and gave Floyd just 1 day to clean it up before legal action moves forward.
Right now, he's in the breach. He's in the breach. He has to provide, some form of acknowledgement that he is going to cure this breach by tomorrow. End of business day, and if there's no acknowledgement that he intends on curing these multiple breaches, I'm not just saying one. I mean, listen, one of the breaches in there is his Greece fight that he's posting, his exhibition against the Greece fighter, the Greek fighter. Like, he can't do that. He can't do that fight. It's a direct breach of this contract. So he has to provide a notice that he's willing to cure. His team has to provide that. And if they don't, then it's next steps.
Jazz Mather then went even further, presenting what many view as undeniable proof of the agreement, reading the contract terms allowed to confirm the rematch is professional and officially sanctioned.
Let me read out something to you here, okay? The main event bout of the boxing program will be a boxing match between Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather. The match will be a professional and sanctioned match and shall count on the official
fight. He beat none other than Manel Kape, the most likely title challenger. It was the last fight in his contract. As a young prospect with the skills to become a champ, one would think the organization would do everything to keep him. Well, they didn't.
Makhachev is a guy that you'd want to bring back to the UFC.